Humans are smart and always need to grow and change. But in old stories, the gods control these important things that humans need to grow. So humans have to take these things from the gods no matter what to start their own civilizations. The best example of this is Prometheus stealing fire from the gods and giving it to humans. But this also starts a never-ending fight between them. In this episode, we'll talk about technology, the first step to civilization. We'll use old stories to explain what humans gained and lost by having technology. We'll also see how technology made humans want to control nature even more. Even though humans know that nature will punish them, they can't resist this desire inside them. And we'll see this sad part of humans again. Fire, technology, and pain. Prometheus taking fire and giving it to humans shows that humans want to make their own choices, even if the gods don't like it. It also shows that humans naturally want to learn and understand technology. Prometheus used a tool he made himself to steal the fire. He secretly put a fennel stalk, a plant that burns very slowly, into the sky. He stole the fire, put it inside the stalk, and came down to earth. This fire is a holy secret, and Prometheus risked his life to give it to humans. Because now that humans have fire, they will learn to use their intelligence and minds. They will become masters of everything, and they will never stop growing. Fire has opened the door to technological development for humans, but it also means that Prometheus, the one who brought fire, will be punished with terrible torture and pain. Because Prometheus dared to learn and teach a holy secret, he went too far by interfering with nature. A human with technical knowledge is a human who tricks God, and they will be punished for it. Humans accepted this from the beginning in order to grow. So the gods ordered him to be chained by his arms and legs and nailed to the cliffs of the steep and empty Caucasus Mountains, where storms are always happening. He's left alone under the huge sky with only his loneliness and an eagle that eats his liver every night, only for it to grow back by morning. Because Prometheus is half human, half god, he will never die. So as long as Prometheus is chained to that mountain, the eagle will keep eating his liver, and he will suffer forever for what he did. Prometheus accepts his punishment and is in pain, but he finds a new emotion inside himself. This emotion tells him, if you believe in what you did, you must accept what happens because of it. This emotion is pride, and pride gives him the strength to keep going. Prometheus brought fire to humanity with pride, so he must endure the pain of pride. He believes he did the right thing because he gave humanity its strongest weapon against nature: technology. Technology is everything that humans have created in response to what nature has made. As he suffers on the Caucasus Mountains, Prometheus, with all his pride, remembers the good he did for humanity. People had eyes but couldn't see, they had ears but couldn't hear. They didn't know how to build houses with bricks or how to face the sun. They lived like ants underground, in caves where the sun didn't shine. If I hadn't taught them how the stars rise and set, they would have no knowledge of calculation. I taught them the greatest tactic, numbers. I taught them writing, the mother of memory. I tamed wild animals for them. I harnessed horses to chariots and taught humans how to control them. If it weren't for me, no one would have given ships to humanity, those sailing ships that cut through the seas. There's a trick in the Greek word techne. For humans to live comfortably, they have to trick nature and calm it down. This word first means craftsmanship, artistry, talent, skill and handicraft, but it also means trickery, deceit, cunning and deception. So this word has both good and bad meanings. This means that technology is about tricking nature to make humans comfortable. The human mind, which tricks and overcomes the laws of nature, is full of pride. So a human who tricks is prideful, and you can't use technology forever without being prideful. But the Olympian gods don't like pride at all, because pride also means being arrogant and going too far. Apollo and Dionysus. So someone who knows how to use technology must have a childlike spirit to invent new things. They must also be inspired by the 9 muses. This means they must get inspiration from poetry, history, pantomime, flute, dance, tragedy, comedy, and astronomy. So, a person with technology must be good at both technology and art. Because someone inspired by the Muses is someone who researches, searches for meaning, questions life and order, and tries to understand. The word muse comes from the root men. Coming from the verb mino, men means to learn, research, perceive, comprehend, and develop a habit. It also means to stimulate, to anger, to obtain, to excite, to research like crazy, and to try hard. The Latin word mens, mentis for mind, is also connected to the Greek root men. It means mind, spirit, and the ability to think, and it's a lively, active word. It's like it shows how restless a creative person is. This wild spirit in the Muses is controlled by Apollo, one of the most important gods of technology in Greek mythology. Apollo is a limiting force, and it has to be this way. So the mind does its job, and the Muses represent the exciting part of the spirit, which is emotions. And when these two things come together, creation begins. In Greek mythology, the Muses take care of and raise Dionysus, the god of wine. Their connection to Dionysus shows that the art they create comes from a wild spirit and excitement. Apollo and Dionysus are the two most important ideas in the creation of technology and art. Someone who isn't like these two can't be creative. Apollo represents the rational side of a person, while Dionysus represents the emotional side, full of excitement that can see into the future and helps excitement and creativity grow. The wings of Daedalus. Daedalus is one of the most famous technical masters in Greek mythology. He's a skilled and talented Athenian. He invented the axe, the plane, the drill, and some say he also invented the sailboat. No one is better than him at making statues that look real. This skilled master works with his nephew Talos, whose name means suffering, because the person who invents is the one who suffers and feels pain. Talos is as creative as his master. He invented the saw from the teeth of a dead snake, as well as the compass and the potter's wheel. But Daedalus, seeing that Talos, who works with him, has made an invention without his knowledge, becomes jealous of him and throws him down from the Acropolis. Daedalus then goes to Crete and starts working in the palace of King Minos. This shows that the idea of techne in Greek mythology is starting to have very different meanings. It's becoming a cycle of both good and bad, with consequences of salvation, death, solutions and problems. So much so that when Daedalus starts living in Minos' palace, Minos' daughter Pasiphae falls in love with a bull. She wants to be with the bull and asks Daedalus for help. She realizes that this relationship will only happen if Daedalus turns her into a cow. So he makes a wooden cow model and puts his daughter inside. Pasiphae, disguised as a cow, mates with the bull, and they have a strange creature named Minotaur, who's half human, half bull. When Daedalus hears about this forbidden relationship, he realizes that he'll have to kill this strange creature. So he uses his skills again to invent a labyrinth, a maze that's very hard to escape from, and puts the Minotaur inside. This way he hides the creature from everyone. This labyrinth, created by technology, is the hardest place to understand and escape from. But in the end, King Minos finds out everything and punishes Daedalus by imprisoning him in the labyrinth he created. Daedalus' son, Icarus, is also imprisoned there and suffers the same fate, but technology never stops developing. Daedalus escapes from this complex place, his own creation, where he's trapped using his own skills. Because the technology that creates a place you can't escape from also knows the way out. Courage and imagination help technology even in the most difficult times. The best way to escape the labyrinth is to fly. Knowing this, Daedalus arranges bird feathers from smallest to largest and makes wings. He ties the large feathers together with threads and fastens the small ones with beeswax. He attaches these wings to himself and his son Icarus, and they fly away from Crete. In Greek mythology, a person with technology listens to their instincts, their intuition. When they're alone in dangerous situations, they use their knowledge to decide what to do without even thinking. That moment is a personal moment when the person is completely alone with their knowledge and they are responsible for what happens. This is also when instincts or intuition come into play. Centuries later, the Neoplatonist Gregory will call intuition technon, the art of arts. However, a person with technology, whether they want to or not, tends to go too far. Daedalus' idea of making wings to fly and escape is him going too far, challenging nature. That's why, just when Daedalus thinks they've escaped, his son Icarus loses control while they're flying and goes up towards the sun. When he crosses the line, the beeswax on his wings melts because of the sun's heat, and Icarus falls into the sea and drowns. Hephaestus and Harmonia. Besides Daedalus, Hephaestus, the god of volcanoes, volcanic eruptions, metalworking, mining, iron industry and making war tools, shows us another side of technology. Hephaestus, who uses fire to create amazing weapons, beautiful art and jewelry, also invented the hammer, anvil, tongs and double-edged axe. He's a god that Zeus's jealous, restless, fierce and stubborn wife Hera created without a father. He's a god who's ugly and has a lame foot. He has a straight and strong neck and a hairy chest. He walks with a limp and falls in love with the most beautiful goddesses. He even dares to fall in love with Venus, the goddess of love, but she always betrays him. Both gods and humans laugh at this god who was born to challenge Zeus, the king of the gods, but they go to him for help when they're in trouble. People are disgusted by him, but they also need him. Maybe one of the greatest things this god did was create Pandora, the woman who represents passion. He did this because Zeus ordered him to. As we talked about before, Zeus wanted to punish Prometheus for stealing fire. First he called Hephaestus and ordered him to create a human from clay and give it a human voice. He called the goddess of love and ordered her to make this creature very charming. He called Athena and asked her to teach this woman everything she knew, especially crafts. Finally he called Hermes and ordered him to give her a dog's heart and make her as cunning as a fox. This creature, which Hephaestus created from clay with his mastery, brought all the evil into the world. In other words, technology was used for evil. But even though all of this happened, Hephaestus, or the skill that created Pandora, also helped humanity. His inventions were used for many things. Sometimes they caused fights and problems, and sometimes they stopped the chaos. He's also the god of fine arts, the symbol of the spark of fire and the light it makes, which he controls with his skill. He made crowns that decorated the heads of women getting married, shining brightly. He balanced elegance with craftsmanship and good with evil. So, Hephaestus has become a symbol in mythology of how technology can cause conflict, fights and terror, but in the end it brings harmonia, balance, peace and help.